I'm on a journey to becoming cancer free. He staged me and said, "Hey, you're terminally ill, you're palliative, you're incurable, you're inoperable." And it was like, whoa, this all hit me like big time. I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life right now with stage 4 cancer. I feel like I'm at the weight I'm supposed to be at. I played university soccer in my early 20s,
Mhm.
like I'm not 18, 19 to about 21 years old. I feel like I'm in that athletic shape. People are writing me off as being dead, right? I tell them I'm feeling good. Like I'm feeling great. Like, and I contribute that a big time to my diet. The feeling I'm getting is to my diet, the carnivore diet, the ketones, the state of ketosis.
Hi, everyone. We're joined here with Jeff De Prosperis. Jeff is a good friend of mine, and he's an incredible person, incredible human being, and one of the most inspiring gentlemen that I know. And he has a truly heartfelt story, down to earth guy. And I'm truly happy to have Jeff here with me today. So, Jeff, thanks for coming.
Thanks, Adam. It's an absolute honor to be on your channel here. I since meeting you and Carrie Mann, you guys have brought so much joy to my life. That's those days that you hung out with me when you came to visit me in Canada. You know, I savor those days, those moments because they were a lot of fun. So thanks for having me on. Thanks for inviting me.
Awesome. Absolutely. Anytime, brother. So, for those that don't know you, can you kind of introduce yourself?
Sure. Um, I have a new mantra, so I have to introduce myself in a new way. And I know I was on Keto Cookout. I stepped in the other night and I told you about it and you liked it. So
Yeah.
um yeah, my name is Jeff, guys, and I'm on a journey to becoming cancer free. That's the best way I can say it, I think. My new mantra I'm doing right now. Um just for my mindset, I've been dealing with stage 4 cancer since April of 2022, and I started chemotherapy end of May 2022. So I'm coming up on, this April will be 2 years with me with stage 4 colon cancer that fully metastasized to the liver. Um, I've done 34 rounds of chemo. I actually have chemo going in me. I don't know if you can see it, but I have this bottle here that I wear. I'll show you guys this. I got this chemo bottle attached to me right now. So this is chemotherapy. This is a certain type of chemotherapy. I was at the hospital yesterday. Today's Thursday, and yesterday was Wednesday. So I'm every other week on Wednesdays, and I had a new chemo that I started 2 rounds ago. This yesterday was my second round of the new chemo, but I've done 35 rounds of chemo, and I always leave with this bottle. It's a 46-hour drip. I get it off tomorrow. I can't wait to get it off tomorrow. Part of my regimen, I fast. So I'm actually today is day 4 of fasting. It's a Thursday and I haven't eaten since Sunday. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow when I can get this bottle off. And as soon as I get the bottle off, I normally just drive over to the closest Wendy's or A&W and get some some burgers. And I bring my own butter and my own salt. And I kill those. I get like 3 or 4 burgers. And then later in the evening, I go home and I barbecue some ribeye steak. So I think I'm getting better in summarizing my intro, but hopefully that was good, Adam.
Yeah, for sure. So you said you can't wait to get that off so you can go eat what most consider heart attack food. So what what is
Yes.
that about?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I really like about your keto cookout show that you guys do? You
What's
guys
that?
do the heart attack check. I love that. I really wanna pick up on that with my buddies, do the heart attack check. No, absolutely. Like, red meat and the carnivore diet, for a long it's been criticized for a long time, and even still today, like, I'm a little bit shy about it, telling people about it because I actually was talking to someone yesterday about it, I can't remember who, um, but I was saying, yeah. Oh, actually, it was Tuesday. I was in my osteopath clinic, and I ran into a friend of mine who hasn't seen me since I've been on this journey. And I've been telling him about what I do and how I fast and what I eat. And I told him I eat only red meat. Like, well, not only red meat. I eat just like I think you guys, once in a while, chicken, turkey, pork,
Right.
fish, right? But mostly red meat.
Mhm.
And my buddy was looking at me like I had my head cut off, right? Like what are you talking about? You eat he said to me, "You eat no plants, no veggies?" And I said, "No, I haven't touched a veggie in 20 months. I haven't touched pasta, I haven't touched wheat, I haven't touched cereal, I haven't touched bread. potato starches. I haven't touched any of that stuff. I had the odd fruit, berry, like a raspberry, a handful or a bowl of raspberries once in a while for a treat, but I'm
Mhm.
getting less and less of those. Like, I'm just, so I told my buddy, I go, absolutely. I said, I'm only eating red meat. I go, I must be a moron because red meat is supposed to cause colon cancer, right?
Right.
And here I am, 20 months, and I'm only eating the product that is supposed to cause colon cancer. And I feel like I'm thriving off of it, to be honest with you. I was feeling kind of down today. I told you that. And now that
Mhm.
just me talking about red meat gets me excited. I'm feeling good talking. I'm feeling good talking about it. Like it's
Perfectly
amazing.
seared red light does it every time.
Oh my goodness. You know what? Like I think Carrie says it and you say it too. Like Carrie says beef, bacon, butter, and eggs. Like that's like the guy's ultimate food to eat. Like, and here I
Right.
am getting to eat it
Yeah, living like a
every time I'm
king.
eating. Oh, living like a king. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, that's awesome. So, how long did they say your outlook was?
Oh, my outlook. Yeah,
Yeah,
that doesn't look too pretty, my outlook.
right?
When you get to the stage of cancer that I'm at and the way it's metastasized to the liver, um, I asked when I originally got diagnosed back in April 2022, I was asking the colon specialist and the liver specialist at the cancer hospital, if I don't do any treatment, chemo or nothing, if I just let this ride, and how long do I have to live? And they said, first of all, they said, no one can really tell you how long you have to live. But from my prognosis, they said couple months probably. So
Wow.
that was kind of heartbreaking. And then when my oncologist at the chemo clinic called me, he staged me and said, "Hey, you're terminally ill, you're palliative, you're incurable, you're inoperable." And it was like, "Whoa!" This all hit me like big time. And I remember my wife was on the call with me. She was at work, but we were taking a three-way call with the oncologist, and she was in tears, and I was so shocked. I don't even think I could have a tear come out because I was such in shock. I was like, "Whoa!" I didn't
Yeah,
like. It sounds like they're just writing me off, and the chemo doctor said, we're gonna get you started on chemo right away to maintain quality of life. Maintain quality of life. That's what he says. He kind of told me a few times indirectly that chemo's not gonna cure me. It's just gonna prolong my life a little bit. So, you know, I I've taken that with a grain of salt and, I've tried to, I did 3 rounds of chemo at the beginning with doing my standard American diet, Mediterranean diet, whatever you wanna call it, and, didn't really have any integrative care at all. But then around my 4th round, like, it was, like, end of June, July of, 2022, I decided to integrate a lot of things. And, it started with my good friend Dwight Garlow, who you met. He started sending me videos, YouTube videos, and I was
yeah.
like, I was kind of yeah. But anyways, we can talk about that a little more if you want.
Yeah, for sure. So, you were doing chemo for 3, 4 months without changing your diet, and then
Three or
you
four,
met
3 or 4 rounds.
3 or 4
So
rounds,
not,
sorry.
yeah, not 3 or 4 months, 3 or 4 rounds. So probably 3 or 4 rounds is probably like a month and a half.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. So, how did you feel then compared to when you changed your diet?
Well, actually, like I felt when they told me when I started chemo, and the doctors were like, "Listen, go home, don't lift anything, take it easy, rest as much as possible." Um, you know what? So I did. I listened to them, and I went home and I did that. I was feeling down, like I'd eat. I feel like garbage. I'd lie down. I'd take naps. This wasn't good. It wasn't good.
Kinda
And
what you would expect. That's kinda what most people expect,
yeah,
somebody taking
yes.
chemo would be doing.
Yes, and people that take chemo, they look sick, like, they look like their hair is lost, they look weak, they lose weight, they're pale, they can barely move. So, yeah, that's kinda what I was like at. I'm feeling kinda crummy today, because I had a new type of chemo given to me at the hospital, but, like, last night, I did chemo, got the bottle attached, drove to my naturopath in Kitchener for hyperthermia, which makes the chemo work better. Then after that, instead of coming home, I went out Christmas shopping because I texted my wife and I go, normally I have somebody drive me. Yesterday I was all by myself. So anyways, but I texted my wife, said, I'm gonna finish Christmas shopping. I'm gonna hit the Nike outlet and a few Marshalls and a few stores to try to finish Christmas shopping. And it was a good thing. I was feeling pretty good. Then I got home last night and I just I crashed. My body was aching. I had a bit of cramping, felt nauseous a little bit. So I felt it last night. I think it's the new chemo. And then this morning I had a bit of neuropathy from this new chemo. Chemo's called Fofox, and it's a newer. I was on full fury the first like 33 rounds, but now I'm on
Wow.
this new chemo. And I have a chemo bottle attached to me. It's always been the same for 35 rounds. It's called 5FU. But normally when I'm feeling like me, what I'm trying to say, Adam, is me be on this call with you has pepped me up. After this, I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna finish Christmas shopping, doing some things. So I feel like the opposite of what I was told by the doctors, take it easy. If I keep moving and living, it makes me feel a lot better.
That's awesome. Well, I know from personal experience, for everybody that's listening, going up and spending time with Jeff was absolutely incredible. It was everything that Carrie and I could do to keep up with Jeff. Jeff was like Mighty Mouse, just running around and just full of energy and full of life. And I mean, it was nonstop action, and it was a blast. It was fun. It was an awesome experience, and I can't wait to do it again with you. But yeah, I'm telling you right now, you wore us out.
Thanks, Adam. No, that's awesome. You caught me on a good week. It was like my off week, right? Like,
Right.
come like Friday when I get my bottle off, and this weekend I might take it easy a little bit, but then next week I'm feeling good. Like I'm ready to. Normally I'm ready to rock and roll. Try to get as much. I don't want to give it away because we're making a great documentary there, but I try to move and exercise and do things as much as possible and enjoy life. And I think we posted a good thing. I think Carrie did that. We went out the time we went and ordered 31 patties from McDonald's. I think that was pretty awesome. I'm still getting comments about that right now. Like, it's like they love it, and, when you guys
Yeah.
come back, I wanna go back to that same McDonald's, and I wanna order, like, 40 patties this time.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you started the carnivore diet as part of the things that you're going to do to take care of yourself, along with the chemo. What other kinds
Yes.
of things have you done to add
Yes.
into the mix?
Yeah, good question. So, kinda count my hands, here. So yeah, the carnivore diet for sure. Fasting is huge, and I could talk more about that in a bit. Supplements, that's also huge with me because chemo really destroys all the cells, right? So they say carnivore diet, you don't need supplements like Shafi talks about, and you probably don't. But when you're a cancer patient on chemo, you need to be taking supplements. Like, chemo destroys the B vitamins and stuff like that. So Dwight's got me on a good regimen, and my naturopath's got me on there. That's another thing. My naturopath I go to, osteopath, exercise, uh, heat and cold therapy, Wim Hof breathing. Um, what else? There's probably a bunch more. I think I've counted up to 10 or 12. So I gotta next time I'm in an interview, I gotta write them down in my notes, my regimen. I think they're on that website, but there's about 10 or 12 things that I'm doing on a regular basis, daily
Did you
basis.
say hyperthermia
Hype
training?
yeah, hyperbaric is another one I added in.
Hyperbaric. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's hyperthermia that I get my naturopath. So
Okay.
when I mentioned naturopath, I go to my naturopath, for this machine called hyperthermia that goes on my abdomen. It's from Germany, this machine, and it's pretty mainstream in Europe, to treat cancer. It makes the chemo work better, actually. So I went there yesterday for hyperthermia, and then I'm going Friday, like tomorrow, for right before I get my bottle off. I go to Kitchener, hyperthermia again, hit it while the chemo's going in me. And actually tomorrow I've added back in, high dose vitamin C and mistletoe. So while I'm getting hyperthermia, I get an IV of high dose vitamin C and mistletoe. And I took a break from that, for 6 months,
Hmm.
because I was struggling with the whole, like, I was wearing a glucose monitor, and for a year, when I was going to my naturopath, I was getting the high dose vitamin C, and every time I wore my glucose monitor, I checked it after the high dose vitamin C, my glucose monitor would break, and it would discontinue. I have to call up Libra 2 and get a new
Wow.
one. Yeah, so I'm like, my naturopath and the nurse at the naturopath, they started teaching me how it's a false glucose spike. I had a hard time understanding that. So did my buddy Dwight. Again, yesterday I was talking to my naturopath. He kind of explained it to me in terms of what that vitamin C molecule looks like. It looks very similar to sugar. So that it gets attracted to the cancer cells. But when it gets attracted to the cancer cells, it's not really. sugar.
Mhm.
So even though my glucose monitor might respond to it like that, my body's not dealing with it like that, he tells me. So kind of convinced me again. And you know what? For the full my first 27 rounds, I had a break from chemo last summer, June, July, and August. So my first 27 rounds, May to May, um, I had high dose vitamin C and I was doing great on it. Like I don't know if that was it. Like I had 5 shrinkages, 5 scans that had shrinkages. So this is where I'm a living test tube. I get to, take things in, pull things out. So I'm adding that back in,
Mhm.
the vitamin C and the mistletoe so I get a drip of vitamin C high dose and they install some mistletoe. It's supposed to be cancer fighting as well. I just thought mistletoe maybe would make my wife kiss me more, but that didn't happen.
It didn't happen. Oh,
No,
no.
no, no. I hope she's watching this and maybe she'll up her game a little bit more.
You might have to put the real thing inside your house.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. So that's, my regimen, like you said, like when I say natural path, like it embedded in the natural path is the hyperthermia, the high dose vitamin C, the mistletoe, some supplements that I get from him too as well. I've built a supplement regimen. Like I think you and I did a video when we were in Canada together on my
Yep.
supplements. Um, but yeah, I keep adding things. I added hyperbaric chamber just last week. I drove out of town to this hyperbaric oxygen treatment where I slid into this tube and it's the baric pressure. I think we are at 1.0. They got me up to 1.5 the first time. The second time they got me up to 2.0. I think I'm gonna go as high as 2.2 or something. The baric measurement in terms of pressure. It's kind of like you're going up in an airplane. So I
Right.
got to make sure that I'm opening my ears and stuff. But I'm supposed from that hyperbaric chamber treatment, I get 100% oxygen, whereas you and I walking around every day, we only breathe in 30% oxygen. So
Wow.
that's supposed to be good for healing my good cells from being beat up from chemo. And then also I think it's just good. Blood flow and oxygen is good for cancer. Kind of like it's kind of a myth. They say they back in the day, they didn't want oxygen or blood flow going at tumors, right? Just like they
Mhm.
don't want you eating red meat, right? But
Right.
it's kind of a myth. I think my osteopath works on blood flow and oxygen when he adjusts my organs too. You came to visit me with my osteopath too when you were here. So
Mhm.
um, there's a lot of things, lot of things that I'm trying to add in, but I'm pretty safe about it. Like I'm getting a lot of subscribers, and I know maybe someone might watch this and give me some advice. And I love the advice I get from subscribers, but I'm not just gonna take something and go, okay, I need to go find this product, like, and go get it and start taking. I want to make sure I do the research. I talk to the doctors, the professionals. I talked to Thomas Seafred. I'm doing a call with him. I've already did one. I'm doing another one with him. Anthony Shafee knows a lot. Um, I've done a call with Kiltz. I've done a call with Baker. They know a lot about the body and what we should be taking, what we should be taking. So I want to make sure I touch base with all the professionals before I start taking something in. There's one thing out there. I think a lot of people have been telling me these parasite pills that you can get the human version of it, but you can also get the dog. It's a dog dewormer. I'm doing a
Right.
lot of research. I'm doing a lot of research right now on that. So, but anyways, I'm constantly learning, Adam. I, uh, I tell people I always had a passion to learn about the human body. My background is I didn't mention this earlier. I've been a high school phys ed teacher for 21 years. I have a kinesiology and phys ed degree. I have an education degree. So I've always been passionate about learning about health and wellness. But since I've been on my journey, my cancer journey, I've taken it to the next level. Like what YouTube is like my best friend. And I'm on it every single day. I'm listening to doctors and I'm listening to people and I'm researching. Like Dr. Berg is another one I was watching this morning about like, I don't know if you ever watched Dr. Berg.
Yep.
He's pretty mainstream. Like he doesn't really he's not really I don't know, he doesn't badmouth carnivore, but
Right.
he doesn't say he's carnivore, but I think he's probably pretty close to being carnivore because he hints around it all the time. And I was
Mhm.
watching something this morning, like, what's the sugar is the most deadly thing, but there's something worse. And he talked about, I think it was malto, maltodexin. I was watching a video on that. That's in your breads, it's in your cereals, it's in all
Oh,
the,
yeah.
and it's worse than sugar. Like I'm learning a lot every single day. And now I'm knowing what not to put in my body, right? And that's what I think the greatest thing about the carnivore diet is. Yeah, we get to eat all these great foods, but you also learn about what you're not supposed to put in your body, which is the most important, I think, eliminating all those garbages.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree 100%. And a lot of people will scoff at YouTube University, but
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, without YouTube, I would not have effectively reversed or healed at least 20 different conditions in my body.
That's
Yeah.
crazy, Adam. I know I keep every time I listen to you, I learn new things about what you've healed, and I know the main thing was your brain injury, right? From your accident, and it's just unbelievable, and Carrie Mann too, he just did a thing on depression,
Hmm.
did a video on that, and I didn't even realize, to be honest with you, it helped me with a mental illness, like, leading into my cancer journey, I was mentally messed up because I didn't know what was going on with my body, right? Until I diagnosed myself. So I was having my doctor giving me like depression pills and sleep pills. As soon as I figured out what I had, as soon as I figured out the carnivore diet, I got rid of those pills. I didn't have to take any of it. It's like it's absolutely amazing. And I think I love Dr. Robert Kilt's his saying. He goes, keto helps, carnivore heals. I love that. He says that all the time.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. He's also famous for saying that we should call ourselves fativores, not carnivores,
Yes,
which
yes,
have more
fativores.
sense. And
Yeah, and you know what? Adam? I kinda get frustrated when I tell people I'm a carnivore and they go, "Oh, you're getting that much protein? Is protein safe for you?" And I'm like, "Hold on a second here. Why?" I didn't say I was getting that much protein. I said I was carnivore.
right.
I get more fat. I try to get, for every 1 gram of protein, 2 grams of fat. Like, I try to up my fat. You know what I mean? I was watching Carrie Mann yesterday with his daughter. They were making dog food, I think, on YouTube, and he
Yep.
was making it out of turkey, and he was adding butter to it, right? And that's the same thing, like, that I do, right? I think
Right.
that was for them, that was not for their dog. I think dogs, you have to have more protein, right? But for them,
Yep.
they had leftover turkey, they're adding butter to it to fatten it up, right? And that's exactly what I do. If I sometimes I go to Costco, and we buy those lean ground beef packages, lean ground beef, organic lean ground beef, but it's
Hmm.
lean. I don't want lean, I want fat. So then I bring it home, we put it we make those power bowls too that Carrie makes, we make them too, the beef, bacon, butter, and eggs. Yeah, you gotta add butter to that beef, right? Because it's lean. We want it fatty, right?
Yep.
So the fativore, I absolutely love that too. I totally agree.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. I've stopped using butter myself just because it seems to give me a little bit of skin issues and problems. So
Sure.
I cook more with tallow now. So,
Do you Yeah, that is the best. Tallow or lard, I get
right.
it. Tallow's the best one for sure. I got a
Yeah.
jar of that in my fridge too. I got a brother-in-law that likes to cook. You ate my brother-in-law's, he brought
Yeah.
over those
Oh,
ball
yeah. Those were
the
delicious.
meatballs. Yeah, they were
Those are
really good.
amazing.
So my brother-in-law is always, and he's on team Jeff. He drives me to a lot of my chemo appointments. My brother-in-law, Richard. Um, he he's always experimenting with smoking beef and stuff like that, just like Carrie does too. But he's always saving the tallow, and gives me a jar of tallow I put in my fridge. I do need to use it a lot more because it is good. Um, I like butter. I don't have any side effects from butter, so
Right.
I try to get clean butter, organic butter, non-pasteurized butter, stuff like that. I try my best,
Hmm.
but I've also learned, I think it was from Anthony Shafee, carnivore, like, not only red, like, people always think you have to eat, ribeyes and you gotta spend a lot of money on good butter and this and that.
Right.
But you know what? Anthony Shafee says it's kinda like the Olympics. I think it was him that said this. He said, "The gold medal is the ultimate, right, in the world at the Olympics, but
Right.
the silver medal, that's like you're still second best in the world."
Right.
So, like, when I'm going to Wendy's to get these patties and A&W to get these, a lot of people comment, "Oh, that's fast food. Fast food's horrible." Well, you know what? I did the research, and these fast food places, their patties are made of just beef. There's nothing else in them, all right? And
Right.
I add my own salt and butter to it. So that's like the second best thing in the world. So you don't need to be eating ribeyes all the time. I try to eat good meats and
Hmm.
good products, but you could be budget on carnivore too. Like, I even think I watched, I don't know who, like, someone talk about, like, even Spam in a can, like, you know what I mean? At least it's meat, right?
Yep.
Better than kale and spinach and broccoli and Brussels sprouts. I'm never touching those things ever again. I never liked those things, and I don't know why I was eating them.
So speaking of going to Wendy's and A&W and things like that, give me one story that you had sort of a bad experience with ordering patties or just having to explain your diet, and then give us a good example.
Yeah. Um, when I first started going to these places and order them, I felt like I needed to explain myself all the time. Like, "Can I just get the patties?" And then and then sometimes if you don't have an experienced person at the till, they don't know how to put it in. They gotta get their manager all the time and everything, right? So I try my best, like, and actually sometimes I've been to some places, I go in and I order, and they're like, "Oh, no, we don't do that. Our manager said we can't do that. We're not doing that." Because a patty at A&W, like $1.90. Normally
Right.
the burger is like $10, right?
Hmm.
So I had a couple places that said they wouldn't do it, and I'm like, "Hold on a sec." I'd be out of town in a different city doing this. I'd be like, in my hometown where I live, I go to the same A&W all the time, and they know me. Like, they did I walk in, they're like, "How many patties you want today? How many patties for your son? How many patties for this?" It was a good experience, right? There's this one A&W that I go to in my hometown, and they know me there, right? And actually, all the employees now have even started following me on YouTube too. They're really nice people,
Oh,
really
that's
nice
awesome.
people. Yeah, like, and, I think I was at one of the A&Ws. That wasn't my main one that when you came.
Hmm.
And, sometimes, like, I explain my story, why I'm doing this, and then they start to understand. I got a Wendy's actually in my hometown. I actually started liking Wendy's a little more than A&W lately. I know A&W is grass finished. They say it's actually grass fed, grass finished. But I find when I go to Wendy's, it's a little more, like, fatty, like, the grease from the beef is, in the burger, so I
Right.
find it a little more fatty and juicy, so I kinda like Wendy's a lot more. And I go to this one, and this one girl, she's the manager there. Her name's, like, Jolie, I think it is. If she's watching this, she'll like that I shouted out her name because she's so nice, and she's just like she does the same thing. I walk in, "How many patties you want today? Do you want cheese on your patties?" Because sometimes my son gets cheese on his patties. You gotta be careful with the cheese, I think, some of it's super processed, so I know, like, the A&W cheese is a little bit better. It's supposed to be 100% real cheddar, but
Hmm.
once in a while, I do treat myself, like, I'll get 4 patties, and I'll ask for, like, 1 or 2 of them to have cheese on them, not the other ones, like, I think if you add up too much cheese, it's not good for you, the dairy, right? So especially
Right.
the if it's a little bit processed. I think the aged cheese and, like, the harder cheeses are better.
Hmm.
But those are my good experiences, Adam. I'm like, once you find, like, a fast food place and this is the biggest thing. I go in there and I talk to them like real people, and they talk to me like a real person. Like, I don't think the person behind the counter is any less or better than me or I'm better than them. You tell them what you're doing, you tell the truth, and after a while, it's like it's a great experience. I actually sometimes I'm like, "You know what?" Sometimes my family for a treat, we wanna go to the Keg or something or someplace to get a steak or something, right? Like, I think we went to a Brazilian steakhouse that one time. But you know
Hmm.
what? I'm just as happy going to Wendy's most of the time. Like, getting those nice fatty patties and putting my own butter and salt on it. It's great. I don't You don't need to go to fancy places.
Yeah. And I would postulate to say the reason why that is, or at least for me, is eating is for sustenance. It's
Yes.
just to live. It's not for pleasure.
Yes.
So
Yes,
it's much
that's right, and
easier to just eat whatever.
I'm realizing the same thing. It's for us to survive, right? It's not for us to you know what? And it's tough being Italian. I grew up around the dinner table, big meals and this and that, right?
Right.
And we're gonna do that for Christmas, and we all should. We should enjoy family, and everything should be based around the dinner table for Christmas, I think. But other than that, you're right. Where we've gotten in bad habits where we're eating 5 to 7 snacks a day. I'm like, "This is getting ridiculous." Like, we're just supposed to eat like, here I am, I'm on day 4. I haven't eaten since Sunday. I'm doing this interview. I don't look like I'm gonna die. Like, we don't
Right.
need to eat. We don't need to eat this much. We just need to eat when we need to eat. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. For sure. So speaking of fasting, let's talk a little bit about that. So
Sure.
how many days would you guess that you fasted in the last year?
Let me pull up my calculator here. I'm gonna go because I'm gonna go 35, and I didn't do it all 35 rounds. Like the first 3, like I said, I didn't do it.
Right.
But in the summertime, I was actually doing it too. So I'm gonna say 35 as 5. In the last year, probably, well, you're at 175 days I've fasted. 175 days I haven't eaten anything. You know?
Wow.
Oh, I can add on another 8. I did 8 with carry, 183, like, it's getting close to 200 actually. Probably 200 days. 200
Wow.
days in the past, like, 20 months, that I haven't eaten. So, like,
And you don't
you
look
know
malnourished at all. So
no, no,
what's up with
I
that?
people say my color looks pretty good, and
Yeah.
even right now, I have chemo going in me. I'm a little more red, I find, with chemo going in me, but I get this bottle off, I look like I have a tan. I know you look tan too, Adam, like, you always have a good tan going. Was that did you have that when you're eating plants too? Or you get it's got better with carnivore, the
Yeah.
tan?
So I have a little bit of Indian blood in me. So
You do, eh?
yeah.
That's
So
good.
I never really had too much of issues with sunburns and things like that. And I've always got tan really easy.
When you say
Uh,
Indian, like like
Native
indigenous, like
American. Yeah.
Native American? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yep.
good. Like
Here.
Dwight, like our buddy Dwight, he's
Yes.
like he's got nice tan going on all the time too.
Yep.
But
We're getting a little bit
I
lighter.
yeah,
But
I've known Dwight since before he even started. Like I was coaching with him a long time ago, and he wasn't as dark. I noticed he's gotten darker since he's been carnivore. So it's amazing.
yeah. And I attribute it to so prior to eating a carnivore diet for me, I would not spend nowhere near as much time in the sun just because it was so hot,
Yeah,
and I would actually start sunburning. And when I was a kid, it was rare for me to sunburn. I would if I was out there for 12
yeah,
hours or something like that. But
yes.
yeah, now I can be out there essentially indefinitely, and I will not sunburn. It's insane. It's
That's
it's the strangest thing.
awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And you know what? I had the same experience. In the past 20 months, I've gone to Florida actually twice. Last year in November, well, not this past November, like November 2022, and then we went at March break with the family. Um, One was for a soccer for my 2 kids in Florida, and then we went for March break. And I told my doctors I was going to Florida, like, "Well, be careful, stay out of the sun. You got chemo going in ya. Even chemo, they say, makes you more sensitive to the sun." You know what? I barely use sunscreen. I was smart about it. I'm not gonna go out and get burnt, but I was
Right.
in and out of the sun all the time. I had a great tan when I came back both times. And
Nice.
it's like people are like, "1, you have cancer. 2, you have chemo. What do you do?" They looked at my skin like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Listen, sun exposure is not bad for us. It's actually good because that's when our body converts the UV into vitamin D through using cholesterol in our body as well.
Mhm.
It converts it to vitamin D. Like, it's I think, one doctor I follow all the time is Doctor Peter Osborne. He's really good. Dwight's huge on him. And he
Mhm.
talks about vitamin D, and he talks about sun exposure is not bad for us. That's a myth, right? It's sunburns and blistering that's bad for us that could lead to problems. We need to get sun exposure, right? And you and I, like, you live in Ohio, I live in Ontario. It's pretty much the same level of latitude
Right.
compared to the sun. We're not getting enough. So we need to make sure that, 1, we're eating a proper human diet, right? It's gonna pump us through the right vitamins and minerals. And 2, we gotta make sure we should probably be supplementing with vitamin D3, especially through the winter months. I do it all the time with cancer, but yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to go outside, even when it's cold out and, going outside with my shirt off for as long as I
Yes.
can.
Yes, yes. Actually, it's funny, Dwight was telling me last winter, and I haven't done it yet this winter because we haven't really got much snow or cold days yet, but Dwight's like, "On those snowy, cold days when the sun's out, you need to go outside in your bathing suit and sit on your back patio, right, and get the sun." Like, he tells me that. And then you're getting cold therapy from the cold. You're getting the vitamin D from the sun.
Right?
You know what? So I'm gonna now that I'm starting to embed cold and heat therapy, I think I'm gonna do what Dwight says.
Yeah.
Go sit out in my boxers. My wife's gonna look at me like I'm crazy in the middle of January, February.
Well, you know what's gonna happen with that. You're gonna make your neighbor a YouTube sensation when he goes
Yes.
viral with those videos.
Yes, yes, that's right.
"Look at
The
my
neighbor
neighbor out
the
here."
neighbor that's spying over the fence all the time. You're right, you're right. That's funny.
That's funny. So you fasted for 200 days,
Yes.
and you don't look malnourished at all. I mean, I seen you when you, went in the cold plunge. You look physically fit. You're
Yeah.
working out. I mean,
I'll be
it's
honest with you, Adam. Yeah. I feel like and this is where I don't know if people I hope they take this the right way when I say this. I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life right now with stage 4 cancer. Like, I feel like I'm at the weight I'm supposed to be at. Like I played university soccer in my early 20s,
Mhm.
like, I'm not 18, 19 to about 21 years old. I feel like I'm in that athletic shape, and I've been working out and exercising. I'm feeling good. When I get this bottle off, I'm gonna feel great. Like, this is out of my 14-day chemo cycle, I get 3 days where I'm like, "Oh, I gotta take it easy. I'm feeling down like today," but I'm actually feeling better right now just talking to you. And I get the bottle off, and then I feel great. I feel fabulous. I tell people I'm the best. Like, people come up to me. This is the annoying thing, Adam. People come up to me that haven't seen me in the like, I was at the mall. I was at the mall the other day. I was actually, in the we have this company called Rogers. I know it's kinda like you guys have, like, whatever, cell phone company, right? So I
Mhm.
I I was going in to get a new plan, and by the way, I got a good plan. Last month, I got charged crazy because I was texting Carrie and Adam in the States. I didn't have the right plan. I got charged
Oh,
all these,
no.
but anyways, I fixed that. Not a big deal. I fixed that.
Okay.
And now I can text, I can send you picture videos, I can send you everything to the States. So I got the US plan now. Really good.
Awesome.
So anyways, but I was in there and I ran into this guy that knew me, kind of knew me from a long time ago. And he comes up, "Hey, how you doing? How you doing?" And he's really soft. He's like touching my shoulder almost. "I'm doing great. I'm in the best shape." "No, but how you feeling?" "I feel great. I just told you." He said it again. "How you No, seriously, how you feeling?" I'm like, "What's wrong?" I said to him in the middle of this store, "What's wrong with you? You've asked me 4 times how I'm feeling. I told you I'm feeling the best I've ever felt in my life, right?" So, like, these people are like they people are writing me off as being dead, right?
Right.
Where it's like, "No, like, you don't need to treat me like that. I tell you I'm feeling great." And now I don't know, and then some people are like, "Whoa." And there's some people out there like, "Does this guy even have cancer?" Like, some people, I don't know if they're being, like, jealous or whatever, 'cause I tell them I'm feeling good, like, I'm feeling great, like, and I contribute that a big time to my diet. The feeling I'm getting is to my diet, the carnivore diet, the ketones, the state of ketosis. Last night, coming home, I was feeling crummy, but I said to my son Peter, "Go get that Keto Mojo that Carrie Mann sent me," right?
Right.
Because we don't got the Keto Mojo here in Canada. So the Keto Mojo is awesome because it pricks you prick your finger and you get the glucose and the ketone, 1 glucose strip and 1 ketone strip. And then it spits out, GKI, glucose ketone index, that Professor Seifert invented, actually. And for someone that's going through cancer, your GKI needs to be around 2. That's the magic number, 2 or between 1 and 2. With chemo going me last night, my GKI was 2.1, and it said I was in a it was really good last night. I was in a therapeutic state of ketosis. So I'm
Awesome.
like, that made me feel good. Even though I was feeling crummy last night, at the end of the day, it made me feel good. And I bet you today and tomorrow with fasting, I can get that GKI because the glucose is coming down even more. The ketones are going up because my body's making ketones when I'm fasting, right? That's
Mhm.
the whole point. That's the whole point of fasting, is that people think, where you get your energy from? Like, I had people ask me this all the time, and I tell them I'm a carnivore and I fast for all these days, and I fast for 5 days every other week. Where do you get your energy from? And I go, "Wait a minute. Well, first of all, I ate amazing for like 7 or 8 days leading into my fast, right? I
Mhm.
eat amazing red meat that give me, like, it's gonna produce ketones. I'm gonna build it up nutritionally. So the first couple of days when I'm fasting, I use the nutritional ketones for my fat that I eat, the ribeye steaks, the fatty meats, right? I use those up. Then I go into body fat, and I know I look lean and stuff. I do have 8%, about I got a test done in the summer. I was like 8%, which is really good. But
Awesome.
I do have some body fat that I can tap into.
Right.
And I gain it right back when I start eating again. And then after that, your liver starts to produce ketones naturally when you need it. When your brain calls for it, when your muscles call for it, y your liver will also produce glucose too, glucose and ketones, both, like, whatever you need. Like, you check my glucose right now, it might be low, like a 4 or maybe in the 3s, but that's still glucose in my body. I'm not eating it. I'm not eating anything, so your body will make you don't need to. I've learned also from these doctors, nobody needs to eat carbs or sugar, nobody. You don't need glucose at all eating wise.
Right.
Your body will make it naturally, right? That's
Mhm.
what I've learned over and over again. It will. And your body will make ketones when you're fasting. So that's hopefully I didn't talk too much there,
No, you're
Adam,
good.
about fasting, but that's my secret to fasting, right? And
No,
I
no.
start taking supplements the first 2, 3 days. I don't take supplements, but today I start taking supplements and tomorrow, leading out of my fast. So I start to get those electrolytes back in and vitamin D3 and stuff and vitamin Bs too.
Very cool. So how do you feel when you're fasting versus, any other
That's
time?
yeah, that's a good question. First couple days, like I normally start on Sunday nights, my last meal. So Monday's tough. Tuesday's a little bit tough. Wednesday, I have chemo. I don't even think about it. I'm so busy with medical appointments Wednesday. Today, like I feel down this morning because the new chemo and the symptoms and stuff, but I'm actually
Mhm.
starting to feel good right now. And normally Thursday and Friday, the fourth and fifth day, I start to feel even better, especially when your body starts producing ketones on its own. I think there's a show on Disney Plus with Chris Hemmingsworth, Thor. He does an episode on fasting, and he did a 4-day fast, and he was dying like the first 2 days because he's carb dependent, right? Carbohydrates. But by the time he got into day 3 and day 4, when his body started making ketones, it's almost like you get this like you're a superhero spike of ketones. Yeah, it really kicks in and start to feel good.
Awesome. So you said you're not consuming sugar to maintain yourself in ketosis. So I take it you're not taking or accepting the gifts that they give you after chemo treatments. The
Yeah. You know what? Yesterday was bad. And every time since I started talking about it on YouTube a little bit, I started talking about like I go to my chemo clinic and they got a fridge of Ensure, which is like 42 to 50 grams of sugar in these little bottles of Ensure. And then they hand out cookies and they hand out biscuits and they hand out donuts that some people bring
oh
sometimes for
my
treats.
gosh.
And it's like it's crazy. Like, and yesterday, again, I was there, I looked over and one of the nurses, and God bless her, I'm not saying anything again negative, but this one guy was having a hard time maybe maintaining weight. He had chemo coming in and he's having a hard time maybe eating or something. She's like, she went and got him the bottle of Ensure and gave it to him. This has got a lot of calories. These are good calories for you to take, right? And I'm thinking in my head, well, they're not good calories to take. I'm thinking in my head, they're horrible. First of all, we gotta stop thinking about calories. I think about calories different now. Like calories not a calorie. It's really not. Like, our body doesn't heat it up enough to burn it, right?
Yep.
We're not a heat engine that we're burning calories, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So calorie that's another thing that it's an absolute people are like, "I gotta get the calories in. I have cancer. I have to get the calories. I have to." No, you don't. And when you're eating food, you gotta get the right foods in you, right? You gotta get those fats in you, right? So everything's backwards. I'm watching it with my own eyes in the cancer clinic, and I see it. I see people pull out like, like we got Tim Hortons here, like, I think you got Tim Hortons in Ohio too.
Yep.
Yeah, because Tim Hortons used to be a donut coffee shop, and now
Mhm.
it's like a sandwich place. They put out wraps, a lot of carbs. They're
Oh
just
yeah.
full of carbs, carbs and sugar. And then while they're getting chemo, they're eating all this stuff, and I'm sitting there just watching. I bring my laptop and I'm watching a YouTube video the whole time, and then sometimes the volunteer comes by and she goes, "Oh, Jeff, I know you're not eating anything, but can I get you anything, water, anything?" And then they hear that I'm not eating. And then all the cancer patients are like, "You're not eating?" Like, and then they're shocked and they're blown away. So I think that's the thing with Healing Humanity and the website that you and Carrie and me started getting going on.
Hmm.
We need to let these people going through cancer understand all the different integrative cares or options or regimens that you can be adding in. It's going to help you with when you have cancer, when you're dealing with chemo and radiation and stuff like that.
Absolutely, for sure. And speaking of it, that's another thing that I wanted to touch on was it's unfortunate that folks have to have this sort of journey that you're on. It's not ideal, but the more that time progresses, the more to me it seems like it's almost like you are the spokesperson for helping
Yeah.
humanity heal, man. It's like your story and the things that's going to come out of this to heal so many thousands of people down the road is just like it's like this is what what you're here for.
I was called to do. You're right.
Yes.
Thanks, Adam. That's why I started my YouTube channel. And it wasn't really for me. It was for everybody, right? That's what I started it for originally. I just wanted to get my message out because everybody's been telling me, Jeff, you got to document this. You got to write a book, this and that. And this was the easiest way for me to do it through YouTube and connecting with Carrie and connecting with you. And then, you guys helped me connect with doctors. And then selfishly, now I'm learning off the doctors, right? For myself. But you're absolutely right. Like I get all these messages every day that, you know what, when I'm feeling down, and I was feeling down last night and this morning, I read those messages that I'm I'm helping these people that have like so many people are writing me like big time, huge comments. They have stage 4 cancer. They haven't been doing carnivore. They want to try doing carnivore. They haven't done fasting. They're gonna do the fast with me the next time and all this stuff. And it's like, wow. I'm like, it's making me feel good reading these things that I'm helping these people, right? And so that's what's really got me going. And that's why I'm on with you today. Like, to be honest with you, I'm like, I told you before we were on this call, I was like, I don't know, I wasn't feeling good, but I know I need to be on this because it's gonna make me feel better and it's gonna pep me up and it's gonna and you're gonna post this video and people are gonna watch it and everybody knows somebody with cancer. The sad thing is everybody knows somebody with cancer.
Mhm.
So they're gonna pass this video on to other people. Maybe they might start following me and that hopefully they pick up some things. Like, 'cause that's what I'm doing this channel for.
That's awesome. Yeah, and it's not just comments on your channel and messages that you're getting directly. Carrie gets them all the time about you and how
Yes.
you share 'em what your journey has helped them, and I get them on my channel, and I'm sure that you're
Yeah.
getting it on other channels
Awesome.
that people talk,
And I love
where your name is
yeah.
mentioned.
And you know what, Adam? The carnivore community, it's the best. Like, you're an amazing person. So is Carrie. And and I met these other guys like JT, Russ, right? Like these other guys I've recently
And
just
not
did
Russ.
Russ is Ru when Russ does when he does the reverend, that's what I'm gonna say he's awesome, right? Because I love it. Like, he brings a smile to our faces when he does stuff like that. And you know what? I was talking to my naturopath doctor yesterday, and he's probably the best out of all the face-to-face doctors that I have, he's the best one. His name's Doctor Reed. I'm gonna give him a shout out. He's
Mhm.
okay with that. But he talked to me like a real person, and he's talking to me about everything I'm doing, and I was kinda hiding from him even that I was doing carnivore. And, he admitted that he hasn't had too much experience with his patients over the last, like, 20 years of him being a naturopath, being on carnivore. So this is kinda new for him, but he supports me. He supports me being a carnivore because it's making me feel good. So he's okay with it. And he's not really gonna talk to me about diet. He's gonna talk to me about the things that I need to talk to him about, hyperthermia, high dose vitamin C, this and that. But he says, I'm gonna support you." And he also mentioned, and I was really shocked with him yesterday. He mentioned, "Jeff, I know you're part of this YouTube world now in the carnivore community." He says he's seeing it. He's seeing, like, people like you, people like Carrie, stuff like that. "You're so supportive of me. It's helping me. The carnivore community is so loving." Like, I'm blown away. And I'm sorry, if there's a vegan or vegetarian out there listening to this, I've run into some pretty nasty vegans over the last 20 years, okay? They're not the nicest people sometimes. And if you're a vegan and you're listening to it, change that point of view of mine, okay? Because these carnivore people that I run into, um, they're very open-minded, they're loving, they're caring, they wanna help others, they wanna share their story in a positive way, not we're not pushy. So I'm just loving it. I'm loving the whole carnivore community, Adam, and that's why I'm here today with you because
Absolutely.
you're on the top list of my carnivore friends.
Well, I
My
appreciate
son,
that.
yeah, my son Peter and Dante, they say to me all the time. There's before I met you and Carrie, they say to me, "Dad, we don't have any carnivore friends. Like we had Dwight. It's like Dwight, me, Peter, and Dante. That's it." Now that I connected with you and Carrie, and I'm connecting with lots of people, I'm like I'm getting tons of carnivore friends.
Yeah, that's awesome. So
It's great.
so for your boys, just let them know that, most people that are out there are alone. They're
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
completely alone in their journey, their
Yes.
carnivore
Yes.
journey. So
Yes.
the fact that you guys have 4 of you, oh man, that's
No, it's
that's
awesome,
awesome.
and you're right, and I think sometimes Peter and Dante, probably more Dante, he's the younger one, he feels awkward at times, maybe at school and this and that because everybody's eating certain things, then he opens up his lunch and he's got egg bites and prosciutto and meat sticks and pork rinds and then a bottle of water, like,
Right.
but I but the more and more they're following along, they're building confidence with this, right? And I know like Peter's been really good. Like my son Peter, here at the high school in grade 10, he's actually got a hospitality class, a foods class where he's learning how to cook and stuff, and he's cooking great things. But a lot of the stuff, because the kids get to eat afterwards, he's not eating it. He's fine with not eating it. He's like, "Dad, here's what I cooked today. I didn't eat it, and I was fine with it." Like, he's starting to become more confident being a carnivore. And I'm watching a lot of, doctors, talk about kids growing up being carnivore, like real doctors, like Shafee, Kendi Berry. Robert Lutwig, I think his name is. He's a professor. Have you followed him at all? Robert Lutwig?
I've seen a
He
couple of videos of his,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's really good. Like, he's a pediatrician, professor, and
Mhm.
he's talking about, like, what we need to be feeding our kids, and a lot of these doctors are, and the more and more I learn, like, in the long run, yeah, you eat a chocolate bar, you're not gonna get cancer, you're not gonna die, okay? But
Right.
eating this way for 20 having your kids eat this way for 20 years, like, this is horrible. Like, Robert Lutwig would talk about, I watched a video on him yesterday. He talked about once a week, he'd go when he was a kid, he'd go visit his grandfather. They'd walk to the store, corner store, buy a comic book and a bottle of Coca-Cola, and that was his treat, a bottle of Coca-Cola for the week, right? And that was fine. Today, these kids are having a bottle of Coca-Cola every day. They're having the chocolate bars every day. They're having
Mhm.
the chips in their lunch every day. Their lunches are horrible. It's happening every day. So it's not gonna take 20 years for these kids to get sick. It's gonna get less and less. It's gonna take 10 years. Like, you know what I mean? This is why we're finding teenagers having cancer, 20-year-olds having cancer. It's not it's really not, "Oh, they got the genes in them, the genetic mutate it's hereditary." No, it's a
Right.
lifestyle. It's mostly a
Yep.
lifestyle. Majority of cancers is a lifestyle, okay? So we need to I wanna get this message out. I wanna somehow, the more and more I'm confident with it, because it's sensitive topic with parents, right? Because
Mhm.
parents, they don't wanna hear me saying, "Hey, you need to be feeding your kids this." I'm not gonna say that to them, but I'm gonna
Right.
say, "Hey, you need to eliminate some of this garbage that you're sending your kids," because it's a sensitive topic for parents because they don't wanna hear it because 'cause they're gonna think they've been doing something wrong. They got 15-year-olds, like, that think that they've been doing something wrong this whole time. Well, the sad thing is they have been doing something wrong, right? And that
Mhm.
that that even starts with baby formula sometimes, right? These
Right.
women
Oh,
that
yeah.
don't wanna try to breastfeed or whatever, they start giving baby formula. You see all the ingredients in baby formula? Like, Paul Saladino talks about it all the time. It's like it's disgusting, and most of you can't even pronounce these ingredients, and that's the first food that your baby's getting?
Right.
There's
Yeah.
gotta be better alternatives to that.
Yeah, for sure. I have huge regrets in that area. You know, when our son was little, my
Yeah,
wife
yeah.
didn't wanna breastfeed.
Yeah, and that's normal.
I wanted her to, but that's her choice. So
Yes,
we put
yes,
him on
yes.
formula, and, he had a milk allergy, so
Yeah,
he couldn't drink standard cow's milk,
yes.
and they put him on a soy formula, and
Yeah.
knowing what I know now, that's
Oh,
probably one of the
soy.
worst.
Yeah,
And
I know.
he had colic for 6 months,
And
literally screaming at
colic
night, and
is caused from all those bad
oh my god,
ingredients,
I
right?
know now, it's like he went through so much torture and probably feeling really horrible, and it could have been prevented, what knowing what I know now, you know? It's just
I absolutely, and I'm not saying to these if there's a bunch of women listening to this, you gotta do what you gotta do. And the beautiful thing is when they're babies or whatever, they heal up a lot quicker,
right,
okay? Like, they're not but that's how some of them are starting. I'm really proud of my wife, like, I kinda pushed it on her because me being a health guy, I kinda knew.
right.
I said, "You gotta breastfeed. Breastfeed is the best thing to do for the kids. It's the best thing. The body
Yep,
makes it the
yep.
natural vitamins and minerals
That's what
from the
they're there
breast milk.
for.
That's what it's for, right?" And
Yep.
my boys both, they did it for, like, 2 years, like,
Mhm.
2 full years,
It's
both of them. So, they got the jump start in life. I feel bad as a parent because I was giving them treats and snacks. I open up my Facebook and I got memories from like 10 years ago. You know what? It's a hot day out. Let's go get a slushie, a sugary slushie, right? And I got photos of us drinking these sugary slushies and this and that. Like every day, I was rewarding my kids with garbage, because I thought, you know what? Try to live life, right? And I always have this mentality, I'm active, my kids are active. Okay, they probably could take a little more sugar in than normal. But now, what I know, no, there's no way. There's no way I'm eating that garbage, especially with cancer. And I'm not, you know what? People always say, "Oh, you're Peter and Dante, you're neglecting them and being a kid." Listen, they watch what they wanna watch. They watch what they wanna watch, I know, and they're choosing this. Once in a while, I say to them, "Hey, if we're at a family birthday, have a piece of cake today, have a piece." Peter's like, "No, I don't want it." We were just at a birthday party on the weekend. My sister-in-law's kids, little kids' birthday party or s oh, no, it was my sister-in-law's birthday party. She had cake, and I said to Peter, "Go have a piece of cake, like, because I don't want, like, you to, like, look weird or feel weird or whatever. Like, have he goes, "Dad, I don't want it. I don't want it." Like, he was getting mad at me. I'm like, "Okay,
Right.
okay, it's fine," right? So, I don't feel like I'm neglecting them. Again, they love their favorite meal is the Power Bowl, the beef, bacon, butter, and eggs. We fry
That's
that up,
awesome.
and they love
Yeah.
it, and I love it too.
Yeah. It's sad that our society's in a position where they feel like to be a kid is to eat high sugary, just garbage
Yeah,
foods.
it is sad. Very sad, Adam.
Yeah.
It's a sad state. We gotta try to fix it and fix it for like, we're not trying to fix it because I'm like I said, I'm not trying to say everyone's a bad parent. We gotta fix it because they're kids, and we can see all the diseases that are happening, right? We really do, and Professor Seaford says it's the ground roots that are gonna fix the problems. Like, you gotta start with guys like you and me having these channels and Carrie and getting the word out. That's how we're gonna help the world. Um, Carrie's very motivated. I don't even know how he does it. Like, Carrie, man, he is he's just unbelievable. The motivation he has, the inspiration he has to make videos every single day, right? And start that Healing Humanity site, the 1,000,000 signatures that he's trying to, and we're gonna get it. It's gonna take a while, but we're gonna get it. But it's like, it's that purpose that, once again, I say it like you're the same way. We're not doing this for any monetary reasons, whatever. We're doing this to help people, right?
Yep.
Like, to
Exactly.
really help people. And I see it all the time, especially with Carrie. I'm like, the way he gets emotional with me and with Bill and with
Mhm.
stuff that they're going through, like, I see it. Like, I feel it. And it's great to have that love and support from the carnivore community for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I started my channel is I can't shut up about this. I'm determined that this is the last generation that
Yes.
is going to think giving kids sugar is the being a kid, right? This is the last generation that's going to suffer with issues like cancer and type 2 diabetes and mental health issues and depression, anxiety. It has to stop at some point. So
100%.
we're going to shout
100%.
from the rooftops.
Like JT always says, "Let's go." He always
Yeah.
says, he shouts that out, "Let's go. Let's get it going." Right? Like, and you're right. We do need to. We do need to. I'm not gonna shut up about this. And believe me, I'm being warned about it.
Right.
I'm being warned about through different channels. I'm being warned about through my even the profession I'm in, and the message I'm sending out, right? Dr. Kiltz got his license threatened, his medical license, right?
Hmm.
But they're still going. They're still plugging. There's a way
Yep.
we can get this message out in a nice way, a nice caring way, right? So, and I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna stop talking about it because I'm having success. I'm having success. I don't want to think about this, but if I get really sick and I'm dying, I'm still not going to shut up about it. I'm not going to because it's given me the last 20 months, the way I'm eating has given me the power, the energy, right? The steady ketones. It's given me that. And I'm having amazing times. That's why I call it blessings on my journey. I'm having amazing blessing days filled with hanging out with my 2 sons, my wife, my extended family, my friends. I'm having those days, and it's because of this diet. It's because of this diet, big time.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Yeah. I try to look at this movement, if you will, as the sun rising. The sun's rising and they can only shade out so much of it. They're not going to
Yes.
hold it all back, brother.
Yes, you're right. They can't put enough shades up. You're right. You're right. I love that analogy, Adam. I love it.
The light is
Beautiful.
coming.
Yes, yes, yes. I love your background too. Is that a fake background or is that
It
your house?
is not. That's actually wood paneling.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's all. I love that you got the 2 la you're very s I'm very symmetrical too. I can't just
Right.
put 1 lamp. I gotta put 2 beside each other, right? That's
Right.
awesome.
Right. Yeah. What is it? Over here, that's
Yeah.
a cow,
That's the
obviously.
cow? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Where is he?
Yeah, the
Where's the
cow. Yeah,
guy?
yeah, yeah. Nice. That's awesome. I love it.
multicolored cow, love him, right?
Beauty, beauty.
Gotta have him in there, and then we
Yeah.
got, the vintage, Circflex camera because 'cause I'm a photographer, so
Nice, nice. You are a darn good
the
photographer.
the OG viewfinder through the
Yeah. Yeah, the OG. Yeah, yes.
yeah.
Oh, man. When you were over my house, you got some action shots of my boys playing soccer. That one of Peter, oh, unbelievable. He loves it. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, no problem, absolutely, yeah, we're gonna have to get you on the cookout again soon, Jeff.
Yeah, you know what? I love that keto cookout.
Yeah.
We grill it, baby. I like it. I like it. I like it. I love that. Like, and that's just that's exactly the positiveness that the world needs to hear, right? We're grilling. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah, and plus I need somebody to team up against Russ with.
Yeah. I think I could help you out with that one because yeah, Russ is a character. I'll just say that. He's quite the character
Right,
that
yeah, he's too much of a celebrity on there, we gotta make sure that he,
yeah,
stays in
yeah.
his place just a little bit, but yeah, we love Russ.
No, absolutely, absolutely. The next time I go to Florida, I might have to go visit him because I know he's from Ohio, but he lives in Florida now, right?
Yep,
And
yeah,
he makes me jealous for,
yeah,
being in Florida. I love the state of Florida. So
yeah,
when I goes next
I'm sure
yeah,
he'd meet up with you. He's in
yeah,
Jacksonville, and I don't know how far Jacksonville is off of 75, maybe an
yeah, yeah,
hour.
yeah. I think no, it's pretty good, it's pretty good. No, I drive normally when we go to Florida, we go to Fort Lauderdale, and, we drive through Jacksonville, and,
Okay,
yeah, no, I think that could
well,
be
there you go.
a stop for sure.
Awesome.
Jacksonville's pretty north. It's like kinda like the intro to Florida, I think, right?
Right,
Kinda?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
in the Panhandle. Yeah,
Yes, yes. The one thing I love about entering the state of Florida, which I don't do anymore, we always did when we drove, my family, you enter and the welcome station in Florida, what do they have at the welcome station in Florida? Have you ever been there? Off the highway?
no, I've never been there.
So
Well, I
because
may have,
they
I just forgotten.
but they have the fresh squeezed orange juice for all their
Oh, yeah,
visitors.
that's right.
Fresh squeezed orange juice and grapefruit juice because it's the orange straight, right? Where and I love whenever I go to Florida, I eat oranges too. I love it, right? Or
Right,
not now, I don't.
right,
But, and last time we went, like, this past year that we went, you know what? I made the boys have a little sip. I'm not gonna have a sip, but you have a little sip because it is a little bit like, it's Florida. You gotta have a little shot of it, right? And
right.
I don't do it now, but because there's lots of fructose and
Oh,
glucose
yeah,
in that, right? Right? I
right.
can only imagine what a little shot of orange juice has now. I used to love orange juice. That's another thing, Adam. Like, even when I wasn't in Florida, I would always have orange juice in my fridge. And I thought, "Oh, it's 100% pure orange juice. It's good for you." I'm not buying the Sunny D, the sugary one, right?
Right.
I'm buying the 100% pure one. That's horrible for us. It's horrible for
Oh,
our
yeah, for
kids.
sure.
It's a horrible way to start your breakfast, start your day.
Right,
Horrible.
yeah. I would get make sure it was organic. Oh, that's so much better. Oh, and then
Yeah.
we'll have the pulp in it too, because
Yeah,
pulp's
yeah.
healthy for you, right? It's
Yeah, 'cause pulp is what? The fiber, right?
yeah,
Which your body doesn't need fiber,
right.
right? It doesn't. Like, it's such a
Oh,
myth too. That's such a myth.
man.
I tell everybody right now, I have colon cancer and my stools are great. They're great. I'm telling you too much information there, people, but
Right.
I don't have fiber in my diet, and it's great. Everyone's always concerned, "Oh, how are you on the carnivore diet? Aren't you all backed up?" No, I've been going pretty last 2 months, I've been feeling really good. I've been telling my oncologist, I'm like, "My stools are a good size. I'm not constipated. Because a year ago, I was having chemo symptoms would constipate me, diarrhea, everything. I figured it out, and I think it's the diet. I think it's the high
Mhm.
fat that, flushes your system out, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. I was vegan for 2 years prior to going carnivore, and it was like, man, I don't even know how I processed that much fiber through me.
I
It was a
know.
lot, multiple times a day, and now it's every 4 or 5 days, and it's smaller. I'm
Exactly.
like, "What
It's
the
small.
heck?"
I know,
You know what's
100%.
crazy too, Jeff? With
Yes.
our cats? So our cats were eating the kibble, essentially,
Yeah. Yeah.
the dry cat food in a bag, and their poops were absolutely horrendous smelling and
Oh, I can
huge.
imagine.
The cats would, like, meow while they're going, right?
Yeah,
And,
because it was painful almost for them.
yes. So we
Yeah.
switched them to 100% raw carnivore diet,
That's
and I'm
awesome.
telling you right now, there is no smell at all,
That's
and
amazing.
they're so small, what comes out of them. It's incredible. Like, and
And
they love it.
cats are supposed to be carnivores, right?
Yes.
That's amazing. And
Yep.
I have a new I have a puppy, like, you met him, right, Mario? And he's raw diet. He's carnivore.
Awesome.
He's chicken wings. Like, we buy chicken wings from the grocery store. We don't cook
Right.
them. It's raw. We give it to him raw. And because the bones are smaller in chicken wings, he eats the bones. He's getting everything he needs right there.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
and I know Carrie's starting to switch his dogs to carnivore and his cat, so that's good. I'm glad to see that. And I'm really excited for his daughter. She entered the carnivore world, his one daughter on
Oh,
YouTube
yeah.
too.
Emma. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so
You
it's
can tell
great,
she
man.
has the mannerisms of her dad.
Oh, big time, big time.
Yeah.
So,
And
yeah, the way
he
she
adds a
talks.
lot of adjectives to words and, which is great for YouTube. I
Yeah.
need to learn how to do that myself. And,
Yes.
she has the same, mannerisms with that. I love it.
No, absolutely. I agree with you. So
Yeah.
that's good.
Awesome, Jeff. Well, thanks for spending time with me today.
This
I
was the
hope,
best. I needed this hour the most. I'm gonna be selfish here. Thank you, Adam. I needed this hour the most because it's kept me up. Now I'm ready to go finish Christmas shopping, so thank
yeah,
you.
awesome. Well, thanks so much. And, we'll talk again soon, brother.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
We'll be
Take care.
grilling soon. All
We'll be
right, ciao.
going.
That's it.
Bye.
That's it.